What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and the Quinton Simon rumor mill is churning. The rumor mill is churning faster than ever, and I woke up to a boatload of messages this morning about all of the rumors swirling around this case. And I'm going to do my best to just catch you all up to speed as quickly as possible, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And apparently some guy claiming to be the stepson of Billie Joe, he's been speaking out, calling into live streams, revealing all type of information, and we're about to get into that in just a moment. But first, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you can be notified of all of the real updates in this case, and drop a comment down below, introduce yourself, let me know why you're here, let me know how you feel about this case. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Well, apparently, there's been some guy for like the past 2 days now named Michael. He claims to be Billie Joe's stepson. And he's been calling into random live streams, revealing tidbits of information. Not much, mostly stuff that we already know. But the feel that I am getting is that they're trying to point the blame and point the fingers and point the attention at Danny, the boyfriend. And I'll admit, we all kind of forgot about Danny. We didn't necessarily forget about Danny, but we weren't focused on Danny because Danny separated himself from the situation early on, which was probably a smart move for him because most people haven't been worried about him. We were told by one of Danny's friends, we didn't hear this from law enforcement, we were told that Danny, passed the polygraph test and he was cleared to leave and go to Atlanta. But we never heard that from law enforcement. The only thing we did hear from law enforcement is that Leilani is the sole suspect in this case. So they never said anything about Danny. So for the most part, everyone's been focusing their energy and their attention on Leilani. But now this family seems to be coming out and pointing the fingers elsewhere. And they're not necessarily saying that Leilani didn't do it. They're saying that the FBI almost tried to talk Leilani into believing that she did it. Because Leilani claims she had, mind you, this is what they're saying. This isn't my opinion. Leilani claims that she doesn't remember what happened. And from what they're saying, Michael and the stepbrother, they're saying that Leilani was kind of being force-fed by the FBI, like the FBI was trying to get her to admit to something that she doesn't remember doing. And as far as that message from Billie Joe, the message that was like, my daughter done it, Quinton's in a landfill, blase, blase, we all assumed that information came from Leilani, that Billie Joe got that information from Leilani. But from what Billie Joe is saying now, all of that came from the FBI. So what they're saying is that if Leilani is the one who did it, that she's not going to run, they will turn her in, and they want her held responsible. This is what they're claiming. But they're also at the same time saying, but Leilani doesn't remember anything like this. Leilani is extremely emotional over her kids, which I do not buy that at all. She was just out partying. And they're pointing the finger more so towards Danny, the boyfriend. And they're claiming that the night before Quinton was, reported missing, that Danny gave the kids a bath. And then that Danny put the kids to bed. And then when Leilani woke up, of course, Quinton was gone. So they're basically insinuating, without coming right out and saying it, that Quinton may have drowned in the bathtub under Danny's watch. And then Danny, put him to bed as if he was still alive or something, got rid of him, and it's all Danny's fault. Now, here's my opinion. This seems like a coordinated effort. To me, it seems like Leilani's family, the Simons or whatever their name is, Billie Joe Howell, it seems like they're going on the offensive now. Mind you, none of this information was coming out a week or two ago. Now, all of a sudden, they're going on the offensive and they're pointing fingers at Danny and they're coming up with different stories about what could have happened. When the most likely scenario is that Leilani did something. I want you all to understand that I'm not saying that anything that I'm telling you all right now is true. This is just what these people are saying, okay? Personally, I do think it's weird that Danny took off and ran to Atlanta. Personally, I believe Danny might know something. However, I don't think this is, oh, Danny did something and he's putting it all on Leilani. I do not believe that. And the way this family has all of a sudden gone on this offensive, and now they're making the rounds, going on YouTube channels and talking to people on live streams, it's like a coordinated effort. Remember I told you all that when they went out to eat, we all called it partying. The mainstream media, they called it partying. And yeah, they were taking shots and eating and having a good time. They were being loud. But what did I tell you all? That it seemed something like the Laundrie situation. Remember, Brian Laundrie came back without Gabby Petito. We all knew something bad happened to Gabby Petito, but Brian Laundrie's family took him out camping. Now, in my mind, that camping trip was them planning out what's their move going forward. And I believe that that little Tybee trip that happened to the beach, when they got that little hotel room and people were pulling up and pulling out, and then they went out to eat at the bar, I believe they were figuring out what they were going to do moving forward. Because it wasn't until that situation happened, they got back the next day, and then they started putting stuff out there. And you have to also pay attention. Who are the people that these people are talking to? You know, they're not calling into most of the bigger true crime channels. They're not calling into the respected true crime channels. I'm not a true crime channel. I don't even consider myself part of that. They're directly talking to the people who are outside creating mayhem in front of their house. And I think that's very telling too. If they were really honest about all of this information they had, if they wanted to change the narrative around their family and raise awareness that really Danny or someone else did this, you would think they would go to more reliable sources. But instead, they're going directly to the people who are outside screaming in front of their house. And that makes me believe that these people are just going to say and do whatever they can to make these people leave. Quinton Simon's family, Billie Joe, everyone in that house have been living in a living hell for the past few days because people have been going crazy outside all day, all night. There is no peace within that house. That's for sure. And I believe they would do and say anything to make people shut up and leave them alone. And it's weird that they go directly to the people who are trashing them right outside of their house all day. It's really awkward. They go and tell them a tidbit of information, then the people relay it and then continue trashing them outside their house, banging on their window and stuff. So none of it makes sense. You know, like the fact that they go there with the information, it just screams to me that, oh, y'all are desperately trying to get these people to shut up in front of your house. And I don't think they're going to. In fact, it's probably going to get worse. And I think more people are coming in to act a fool in front of their house today. But hey, whatever. So where we're at right now is this Michael dude, this stepson, I guess, he's just going everywhere, telling all type of information. I mean, information that basically we know, but all of it is really just them. Oh, it's Danny. I think Danny may have done it. That's basically what it is. And it's like they talk in circles, but it all gets to the point of y'all are basically trying to insinuate that Danny probably did it and that people need to look into Danny and leave y'all alone. That's the vibe that I'm getting. It's like, hey, go look into Danny. Yeah, you really need to look into him, but don't look into me. Leave me alone. So the most likely scenario to me is that Leilani did it. And in these cases, we always have to be careful. It happens all the time. When you get into this point of the case, this period where there's so much uncertainty, there's so many unanswered questions, and you're not getting constant updates, you're not getting any news in the case, that's when rumors really start to be created and they really start swirling. And, there's a lot of doubt that gets put in people's minds. So we have to be careful here. Because what I found to be true in most of these true crime cases is that the most likely scenario, the most boring scenario, is what usually comes to be. And we've seen it time in and time out. And the most likely, and I'll say boring scenario, is that Leilani did something stupid and disposed of Quinton. I don't believe that there's this framing going on to make it look like Leilani did something, but she just blacked out and she can't remember anything. And it must have been Danny. That's why Danny ran off. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. It could sound good to people who are trying to be entertained, because a lot of people come into these cases to be entertained, and I get it. There's definitely an entertainment factor there, but at the end of the day, you have to really think what's more important to you, the truth or entertainment. So as much as you may be entertained by following these cases, the truth should be more important to you. But the reality is entertainment is more important for a lot of people. So Michael coming out and putting all this information out there, it's just going to cause chaos. But at the very least, I can agree that we have given the boyfriend a huge pass. And for the most part, we haven't been worried about him. All because of him supposedly passing a polygraph and leaving. But now the waters have been muddied because supposedly the family, Quinton Simon's family, is putting it out there that he actually failed the lie detector test. And it's just going to get really weird here. I'm going to let you all know. I warned you all when this started that this was going to get crazy. And now I'm warning you all now that it's going to start getting weird. People are going to start getting desperate. The lack of information coming in is going to start causing more people to say random stuff, including Quinton Simon's family. And like I said, I think they'll do or say anything to get people from in front of their house. So who knows what's going to happen here. I'm sure they're going to put out more rumors themselves. And it's muddy in the waters. It's going to cause more chaos. And it's just going to get really weird, folks. So just get ready. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.